The Reserve Bank of India's monthly State of the Economy report said India's US tariff-related trade policies pose a downside risk to aggregate demand even as headline inflation is expected to remain below the 4% target and the S&P upgrade should lower borrowing costs. Ahead of Reliance Industries' annual investor meeting, shareholders expect updates on telecom and retail listings and clean energy investments, while the US doubling of tariffs over Russian oil imports clouds the outlook and forces Mukesh Ambani to balance geopolitical pressures with business plans. A Business Standard report highlighted that US private sector firms like Revelio Labs are expanding alternative economic indicators and offering some data free after President Trump fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics head, making investors more receptive to real-time private data alongside official statistics. Ratings firm Crisil cautioned that India's ready-made garment revenue growth will slow to 3 to 5% in FY26 because US tariffs on garments have risen to 50%, eroding competitiveness and likely reducing the US share of exports from 1/3 to about 1/4 while squeezing industry profitability. According to a Collier's report cited by Business Standard, India's 4 listed office REITs cover 16% of Grade A office space today but could expand to 25 to 30% by 2030, with around 371 million square feet of existing stock, led by Bengaluru and Hyderabad, holding potential for future listings as demand from global capability centers and financial firms grows. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal said Qatar is keen to negotiate a free trade agreement with India and that the FTA with Oman will be finalized soon, assuring exporters that the government will support them amid unilateral trade actions and noting that upcoming GST reforms should boost domestic consumption. A Bloomberg survey reported by Business Standard estimated India's June quarter GDP growth at 6.7%, helped by front-loaded exports and early monsoons, but economists warned that growth could slip below 6% in the second half of FY26 as 50% US tariffs and weak consumption drag exports and domestic demand. Business Standard reported that sluggish demand has left smartphone brands such as Xiaomi and Realme with large inventories, prompting them to shorten product life cycles, offer discounts and shift online-only models to offline channels, with analysts expecting a flat festive period and some manufacturers adopting 6-month cycles to clear stock. Fitch Ratings reaffirmed India's sovereign rating at BBB, citing robust growth and strong external finances, and said proposed GST reforms could support consumption, but warned that high debt and debt service costs remain credit weaknesses and projected nominal GDP growth of 9% in FY26. Qatar's sovereign wealth fund filed a petition in the Karnataka High Court to enforce a Singapore arbitration award seeking $235 million plus interest from Baiju Ravindran, alleging he personally guaranteed a loan used to buy Akash Educational Services shares and later breached the agreement, deepening the ed-tech firm's legal woes. To support honey exporters, the Directorate General of Foreign Trade reduced the minimum export price of natural honey from $2,000 per ton to $1,400 per ton until December 31, 2025, with exports below this price still banned. A report by the Center for Social and Economic Progress warned that India may face a significant copper shortfall as demand from the energy transition, infrastructure expansion and manufacturing rises, urging policy reforms and investment to boost exploration, processing and recycling to avoid deeper import dependence. A SEAL HR report cited by Business Standard found that women account for only 9% of India's fast-moving consumer durables workforce, even though sectoral hiring grew 30% from May 2023 to May 2025, highlighting a persistent gender gap especially in manufacturing, sales and technical roles. For a detailed discussion on your portfolio, please feel free to get in touch with your portfolio manager. We wish you a great weekend.